Hi everybody, let's try this again. Welcome to Crud Talk. My name is Sonia Bruner. My ministry is called 50 Shades of Grace. My website is soniabruner.com. Hope you all have had a great week. I'm really excited about what God is doing in this ministry and how he's growing it and where he's taking it. And I've heard so many cool comments and wonderful things from all over the world, really, and I'm just really excited about what he's doing. And tonight's episode, I'm really, I know it's going to be a good one. I know it's going to touch a lot of people. It's going to impact a lot of people. And so my heart is just, again, that we would deal with our crud, because if we don't deal with our crud's going to deal with us, right? I mean, my ministry is full of people that refuse to deal with the hurts and the pain of their past. And then that's what comes out when we're kind of squeezed by the world, right? When we're squeezed and pressed in and hard things happen, it's our response that comes out of that experience, that crud. And so anyway, my heart is that we would all push one another towards dealing with our crud, because it's so important to do that. So I pray always, in all that I do, that I would be a light in a really dark world, and that I would be transparent, real, that I would just point people to Jesus. I really don't have anything of significance to offer anyone except Jesus Christ and his word and what he's done in my life. And so that's really my heart, and that has been the heart of my entire ministry. And so I pray that I would get out of God's way tonight, and that you would allow him to speak to you. If you're squeamish, or I've talked about this before, but I'm really going to give you this disclaimer. If you're squeamish or easily offended, do not watch this episode. If you struggle with judging others, do not watch this episode. If you want to get encouragement today, watch this episode. God's moving. Do you believe that? I believe that. So I purposely changed some of the words in this letter because they were pretty graphic. As you know, a lot of people write to me, and many of them come from all different backgrounds, and they honestly share their hurt and their pain, and so sometimes that can come out in some words that maybe I wouldn't use, but so I've changed up the words, just FYI. Don't let the words or the language stop what the Holy Spirit's going to do in you, okay? Would you do that for me? Sonia, you might not remember me, but I wrote to you about a year ago. I gave you poop for bashing guys who look at porn. I was, a gluteus maximus to you, and I owe you an apology. I don't want to say this out loud, but I need to deal with this stuff. I have a bad pornography addiction and have had it for most of my life. Every time I say I'll quit, I find myself looking at it again. I found myself justifying my habit with the thought that it doesn't hurt anyone, nobody knows, and it meets the needs in me that I couldn't get anywhere else. The images gave me an immediate fix. I love women, but when I tried any relationship, I wasn't good at the emotional stuff. I had a hard time getting close to women. They wanted to get close. I wanted that closeness too. I tried to be open to it, but something felt off when things started to turn more serious. They'd get ticked off. So I found myself preferring the no drama in life, and when I was alone, I wasn't constantly reminded that something was wrong with me. I started dating a girl that I thought was going to be the one. I felt closer to her than anyone. We could talk, and sex was good, really good. And for the first time in my life, sex wasn't the most important thing. I loved her. I would fight the urge to look at porn. I deleted all my accounts and blocked the sites that were my go-to in the past. I was doing good. I thought I was okay. We were getting along good. She liked sex. That wasn't the problem. It was me. I had those girls in my head, and no matter how I tried to ignore the pictures, I had a hard time getting turned on by her. I would push her to open up and try more things. I was craving more sexually than she was willing to give me. She freaked out. She went nuts because I thought that coming clean with everything was the right thing to do. That was a poop show. She told me that it hurt her that I would look at other women and not desire her alone. I'd go for a while and not look at the stuff, but then it would happen again. She'd cry. Yeah, that tore me up when she cried, but not enough to stop. For as long as I remember, I've used porn to get off. I needed it. It made me feel calm. It gave me what women couldn't. It was easy. It was fast. No pressure, no talking. I was a gluteus maximus, and I lost her because of it. After that, I went into a depression and did whatever the heck I wanted. If it made me feel good, I did it and I didn't care. After a while, though, I felt nothing but guilt for hurting her. I didn't have control over my need for pornography and sex. I lost interest in everything. I gained weight. I didn't go out and I let friendships go because I felt disgusted by myself. But I still couldn't stop looking at porn. I don't know how I saw it, but I saw something online about you and remembered you were the lady who had been sold for sex as a girl. Something made me watch your story. I couldn't believe it. Whoa. Okay, you've been through so much, and I could feel it from you. Hearing your pain and looking into your eyes, man, it about broke me. As I listened to you talk about the girls and the women who are forced to perform, that they're drugged, raped, sold into sex multiple times, it hit me. I kept thinking, what sick person would do this to a kid, to anyone? They should be locked up for life. I couldn't deny my problem anymore. I am addicted to pornography. I don't know how you feel about men like me reaching out to you, but I want to ask your forgiveness for not understanding that it's more than a picture or video. I would always say, it's no big deal. I'm not hurting anybody because it wasn't really a real person, but it is a real person. These girls aren't making their dreams come true by starring in epic movie roles or even making the kind of money that would give them freedom to make other choices. I am a weak man. I don't know how it got to this point, but I want to stop. I listened to your story and I knew I had to do something. Immediately, my chest got tight and I thought God was talking to me. Hearing you describe how Jesus forgave you and helped you, I knew that I needed the forgiveness and the help of Jesus Christ in order to stop this addiction. I was scared. What if I can't stop doing this? It's such a part of me, I felt like I could never be free from it. I heard him say, "Will you trust me?" I wanted to say no, but I couldn't. I love that. This is what I did, and you should know. I asked Jesus to help me stop looking at pornography, to stop craving the porn, and asked him to forgive me. Hearing you say that you forgave the men that hurt you because of Jesus gave me hope that I might be able to be forgiven too. I believe that Jesus did forgive me, not because I deserve it, but because he says he will if I ask him. Thank you for telling me, Sonia, and thank you for not telling me off when I was rude to you before. That's how I know that you're the real deal. You didn't judge me even when I deserved it. You are brave. I bet you hear this story many, many times, but I will never forget you or what you have done for me or what Jesus is to me now. So, we all know, and if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, pornography is a $12 billion business of addiction. It's hurt millions of people. And Satan knows it and uses it every day to destroy lives. Pornography is here because there are millions of consumers. It's not gender specific. It impacts men and women. I hear from so many of you about your struggle with pornography. Just know that I know how hard it is to work through addictions of any kind, but especially pornography and sexual addictions. I'm praying for each of us that we would honestly examine our own hearts regarding sex and things that we let our eyes see. I'm always humbled, but I'm so humbled that a man would write to me, knowing my story, knowing what I've been through, but write to me about his struggle with pornography. I just think that that is just so overwhelming and so cool how God does that. I'm humbled that this guy found Jesus and was able to make Jesus the Lord of his life. And so with that, I also got this message. I get this one a lot. Sonia, Jesus can't fix everything. You need to stop lying to people and start admitting that the same God that you claim loves you allowed all of those things to happen to you. That's not love. That's abuse. Or maybe the truth is there is no God and we are on our own. Well, here's the thing. I get that one a lot, y'all. Here's the thing. I can't make anyone believe in Jesus Christ. I can't make anyone believe that the Bible is true. I can't make anyone love Jesus, to trust Jesus, and to follow Jesus. What I can do is this. I can believe in Jesus Christ with his help and live like it. I can believe the Bible is true and with his help live like it. I can, with his help, love Jesus, trust Jesus, and follow Jesus. Those of us that follow Christ, we can do that. I can't control what others do, but I can control how I respond. And this gentleman wrote to me, and I pulled it up because I was like, that must have been a doozy. And it was. He was really mad at me for getting on to men. And I wasn't even getting on to men. I was getting on to men and women, because both men and women are extremely addicted to pornography and sexual addictions. Both genders have addiction with that. So he was very upset with me. But man, does God use our responses? Can I get an amen? Whew. Had I responded different, that could have gone a totally different way, right? So in my personal life, Jesus can and has fixed everything. In that, even in the most evil, difficult times, he loved me, stayed with me, comforted me, provided for me, allowed me to live, and blessed me abundantly. Not in my, I dream of Jeannie list of wants, but real fixes like love, joy, peace, forgiveness, relationships, a calling, a purpose. Jesus can and has fixed everything for me. Number 2, God does love me and you. How do I know? He created me, knowing I would not love him the way he deserves. And then because of his great love, sent his only son, Jesus, to die for me and you, knowing that some would completely reject him. That's love, period. Number 3, God did allow those things to happen to me. That's true. I can't explain that other than I believe with my whole heart that Jesus hated the sin that caused me pain. Jesus hates sin. Mine too. Ouch, right? Mine too. He hates my sin. If I chose to not deal with my crud, to not forgive, or to not allow Jesus to lead my life, and to not be willing to share my torture and abuse and the gospel, what if that was how God used that horrible sin for good? What if that was the very thing that would allow a man like this to recognize his sin and to turn to Jesus Christ for salvation? And that's what he did. Y'all, that's what happened to him. That's exactly what he did. Who am I to even question God about anything? I mean, he's my maker. He created me. Who am I to question my maker? I don't like that I had to go through this. I've openly stated that. I've talked to God about that a lot over the years. I don't like it at all. But what if me going through that has helped other kids? I know it has, right? God has used it to help kids and adults. I mean, that's it. That's why I do what I do. No, I don't want to have to be the one to go through it. But I did go through it. Why? Because man sinned. There was sin. Man chose sin, right? God doesn't make us robots. He allows us to have free will, to have choice. Those people did that. My mom and the men that hurt me, right? My mom beat me and tried to kill me. The men hurt me, right? What if that's the very thing that God saved me and kept me alive for? So that there'd be other kids, other little girls, other little boys, other men and women who would know who Jesus is and be free of their pain. What if that's the reason? I'm suddenly going to say, forget it. You're on your own. I don't care about you. I'd rather be okay and not, right? I'm not going to do that. So, okay, I'll stop. Number 4, abuse would be, this person mentioned abuse. Abuse would be forcing someone to follow you and not giving them a choice. Jesus does not force anyone to love him and to follow him. You and I have a choice. Number 5. So, what if there truly is no God? If you believe that, you have nothing to worry about, right? Just keep doing what you're doing and everything's going to be fine. But what if God is real? What if the Bible is true? What if the gospel is true? What if Jesus died on the cross for you and me? What if Jesus wants a relationship with us? What if Jesus will forgive us of our sin? What if there is a heaven and a hell? You and I will have very different outcomes to our stories, depending on what we choose. And that is the choice that each of us must make. What do you believe? Who do you trust? God can do anything. I've seen it with my own eyes. Okay, enough said. Now, people who follow Jesus, I'm talking to you specifically. We don't need to argue it. We just need to live it. I'm going to let you chew on that for a little bit. We don't need to argue it. We just need to live it. We don't need to quarrel. We need to love. We don't need to judge. We don't need to tell people that how they feel is wrong. We need to listen, ask questions, pray with them, love them. Even Jesus doesn't beat me up when I come to him frustrated and hurting and asking him questions, questioning his decisions. He loves me through it. We stand for the truth in love. Not prideful because we think we're right. Humble because we've all had questions in our lives about God and how and why he does what he does. Don't think more highly of yourself than you ought to. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to all of us that follow Jesus. Okay? Love God, love people. The most difficult charge of our human lives. Love God, love people. So difficult. Why? Let me read these love verses from 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 7. Listen to this. Whew, it's getting hot, and it's not just the weather. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It's not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. That's so good. And I have failed, and I fail over and over so many times. Lord Jesus, please forgive us. So, did the Lord speak to you tonight? Did he speak to you? What did he say? I'm going to ask that we all prayerfully seek the Lord and ask the Lord to give us boldness to share the love of Jesus with others in our circle of influence. The world is lost, and we can't sit on our free gift anymore. Tell your story, share the gospel, love God, love people, deal with your crud. Make sure that you are living the way that Jesus wants you to live. Do not argue about it. Live it. I'm Sonia Bruner. This is Crud Talk. My ministry is 50 Shades of Grace, and my website is soniabruner.com. Please continue to pray for me. Share this with your friends. Tag your friends. Leave your comments below. I love hearing them. They're so encouraging. They're so encouraging to me. I'm really, really psyched to hear what Jesus is speaking to your heart about tonight's episode. I know he's just filling my heart and my mind with a lot of stuff. Deal with your crud, or your crud's going to deal with you. I'm Sonia Bruner. Have a great week.